In today's segment, I'd like to talk about upholding integrity. Now, what I mean by that is that most of small businesses is that, you're fighting and clawing for everything to get money and ultimately to grow the business. And I understand in the beginning, most people, you know, you kind of have to bend the rules, so to speak, in when just starting out, because ultimately we all need money. We all work for the same reasons so we can do things, right? And one of the things I urge you in whatever field you're in is always uphold integrity. Now, what I mean by that is that, like, for example, in my industry, bookkeeping, payroll, and taxes, a lot of people will come to me and, unfortunately, since we work in small businesses, they don't understand how finances and accounting work. And they think that I could just kind of move numbers. Well, you can't. All right. So, because if you do, that's going to cause an audit. It's going to cause problems as far as with people's paychecks and et cetera, et cetera. And I can tell you that while it is tempting, I definitely would avoid making up, kind of fudging anything or and definitely upholding integrity. And I can definitely tell you that once or twice people have asked me to change numbers, and I've refused. Integrity is one of those things that, and I know you've probably heard this a gazillion times. It's not what it is when everyone's looking. It's what it is when no one's looking. And what kind of person do you want to be in the business? Do you want to be an honest, ethical person that can practice the business, or one that is constantly fudging the numbers and, somebody that is known as they can go to you and they can, a customer can get the numbers changed? I would avoid being the latter and just be an honest, open, business owner, whatever field you're in, whether it be cutting hair, doing nails, bagging groceries, bookkeeping, payroll, taxes, you name it. It's definitely a lot easier to run a business than it is to kind of, trip and fall over so many lies after a while. So just be honest. It's so much, it cleanses the soul. You don't have to worry about, watching over your back as far as, industry guidelines and competitors watching every step you make to make sure you make a mistake. Because if you're open and honest and you're truthful, you won't make mistakes. And, I understand certainly in the beginning, it is tempting because you want to, get caught up on the business. But after a while, money comes and money goes. But the truth, I'm sure you've heard it, the truth shall set you free. And, after a while, money doesn't matter, just running a good business. But, be honest, be transparent. Here's what it is. Here's how we're going to do it. Take responsibility. I can tell you that I've gotten business. Anybody after training can do bookkeeping, right? I mean, anybody can do that. But it's knowing what to do when things go wrong. It's knowing what to do when there's a mistake. Just here, I'll pay for your mistake. You pay for the penalty that I did. And it was an honest mistake. And if not, then I'll call the IRS and say, hey, this was a mistake. It was submitted on time. Or I'll tell the customer, hey, this item was on time. The third part, confidentiality. Don't go blabbing to your friends and your family or competitors of your customer and saying, hey, he's got this numbers or that numbers or whatever situation they're in. Keep it confidential, right? You want your customer to have you as a confidant, somebody that is on the elevator down, but also on the elevator up, and act, along that same vein, act with fairness, right? If you know it's not your mistake, say, I'm sorry, but I can't take responsibility for this. Or if you make a mistake and there's a penalty, well, first off, try to get the penalty waived or deferred or, out of the way. But if you can, say, hey, I made a mistake and I'll pay for this mistake. And hopefully it's something minimal, right? And hopefully, you're charging enough to where you can make up for it in your monthly payment or service or fee, whatever you do. The next point, keep your commitments. If you say you're going to do something, do it. All industries, they have deadlines, they have obligations, they have things they need to do. And if you can communicate, hey, I'm here and I'm committed to this deadline, but I'm also committed to you, then people will be around and they'll stay around and you'll get business long term. Next, practice ethical standards, ethical conduct. Don't be doing gray area things. Don't be, doing things that are unfair, unethical, because with that, for the rest of your business life, you'll constantly be having to look over your back and look behind you, and are the regulators watching me? Are the competitors auditing the situation and they see there's something wrong? Things like that can get you in trouble. Show respect for others. Be punctual for meetings and respect your colleagues' times, ideas, and property. As a entrepreneur, it's easy to get caught up in that entrepreneurial mindset of you're in charge and you know what's going on. But along the same vein, it's good to be humble. It's good to say, yeah, please, thank you, and I'm sorry. And it's okay to say you don't know the answer to everything. I know that we're taught that you need to be in charge and you need to act like you know something, and here's the answer, here's what it is. But that be in charge attitude could cost people, valuable things. If you're in the medical field, it could cost them with their life. If you're in the tax preparation business, they could get a penalty and get audited. It's okay. Well, first off, it's okay to say, I don't know, but I'm going to find out for you, and I'm going to get back to you on it immediately. And in doing that, of course, you want to be quick and honest. Try not to do that too often, because if you don't, well, then there's a problem if you don't know a lot of answers. But it's okay to say, I don't know, but I will get back to you as soon as possible. And then, of course, research it and get back to them as soon as you can. Put urgency on it. Next and last, but continuously reflect. Always reflect on your performance. Always reflect on the integrity that you had, and ask yourself, did I make the right decision? Did I do things that are okay? It's okay to reflect on your behavior and say, you know what, that wasn't right. I should have done that. And hopefully that'll help you out as far as in the journey. Always you can go online and research it some more as far as professional integrity. And even if you have professional credentials, the governing body should have a list of items that are of integrity to your industry. But hopefully this helps as far as what is integrity and using professional integrity and so forth. But, if you like us, you love us, you want more of us, click like and subscribe. Just a little bit about myself, bookkeeping, payroll and taxes, Metro Bookkeeping, www.metroacc.com. Until next time, and stay awesome.